Man, like I'm so much excited because this is the first time I have an athlete on the show. And this is the first time, again, like it's going to be episode where listeners can learn what's the winner's mentality,
Mm.
what athletes, what winners do, separate, like a different from the crowd, and what makes them different, what makes them ahead on the in the race. So again, like this episode is, I'm so much looking forward for it, brother.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, I do my fellow athletes justice.
Oh man, I'm sure. So before we start, Akeem, like could you share a little bit more about yourself, about your childhood? Like when was the time you fell in love with the sports?
Yeah, man. So originally born in Jamaica, came to Canada in 1998. Came to Yellowknife first, and then made my way to Calgary. Started playing soccer in Yellowknife in high school. Um, you know, Yellowknife is one of those places where there's not too many people, but when the community gravitates towards something, it becomes a big deal. And up there, it was soccer, right? So, I remember every summer we would have this big thing, and it would last all summer, called basically the World Cup, right? And so it would be every single person who plays soccer, you would be drafted to play for Team Brazil or Team Jamaica or Team Canada. And it was so exciting because it was kind of like you were creating an environment, even though you weren't, you know, there in a different country, you could create that same feeling there, right? So it always feels good to be a part of a team atmosphere. But what was interesting about it was the whole community would come out, right? And you were cheering for your team, and you wouldn't cheer for any other team. So it was from there that I started playing soccer. And then once I came to Calgary, I started doing other things like football, and I started running track and field. And I didn't take track and field seriously probably until high school. I wanted to play football through and through, but I wouldn't say track was my first love.
Wow.
I wouldn't say track is my second or third love. I'd probably say it's probably about the fourth or fifth sport that I enjoy doing. But you know, sometimes, man, when you have people who have walked more time on this planet than you, and they share some advice. I
Mm-hmm.
had a coach, a mentor, one of my good friends to this day. He said, Akeem, man, if you really stick to this, you can always come back and play football. But man, you have an opportunity here to be one of the best in Canada, one of the best in the world. If you just focus here, and you can come back to the rest later. And so I respected his word. I admired his word. He's always been good to me. And so I kind of stayed locked into track and field, and kind of, man, the rest kind of became history.
Man, like I was surprised. I thought like you always was into into racing, but you said like it's like a kind of third or fourth club. But when was it like you knew like you can run fast? Or it was like, or you think like the coach came in your world and he saw that no, like this guy can really run fast. Or it was like you already knew it.
Man, I'm a person who, you know, I don't need much to get motivated to get going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a work ethic guy, right? So I knew that my speed was much different than most people when I was, playing football, right? I realized I'm like, man, I'm breaking away from the competition here. And then once you get on the track, you can kind of see some more details toward that, right? So I just started to see, God gave me a little bit more talent in this area than he did some other people. I said, I got to nurture this, right? So you always know when you are different. You always know when something feels different. It's just up to you to kind of answer that call and to not let your ego surpass your humility, right? So for me, I knew I had something, but I said, man, I wonder what else and how good I can get this if I really put my focus into it. So I just started doing the extra work that nobody saw, going to going to the fields late at night when it was dark and working out, coming home and doing push-ups and doing sit-ups and getting my body right and doing all of these different things that allowed me to excel what seemed at a quicker rate than most people. But in reality, man, I was just doing what other people weren't doing, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of when I knew. I started knowing high school. I was like, man, I'm starting to run some good times here. And then when I saw a time on the clock that put me number one in North America, I said, okay, okay, this may be an avenue here I can take.
Oh man, man, really wonderful.